Hello and welcome to the 2019 Global Alumni Reunion. We're coming to you live from the Palau de Congressos in Barcelona. We're going to be streaming a program with all of the event action until 1:30 Spanish time. We hope you can stay tuned for conversations with alumni, connections to very exciting academic sessions, interviews with event speakers, and much, much more that will make you feel a part of the Global Alumni Reunion wherever you are. You can also follow all of the action live on Twitter at hashtag IESEGAR. That's hashtag IESEGAR. Now, before we dive into the reunion, we're going to show you a way where you can keep up with the IESE action and alumni community throughout the year via the Alumni app. Here is a quick video showing you how to best take advantage of that. Now, this is day 2 of a 3-day event. Yesterday, tomorrow, there's going to be an 8K run high above the city of Barcelona. We expect over 200 participants to run in support of the IESE Scholarship Project. And yesterday was themed around entrepreneurship. We called it Entrepreneurship Day. It took place at IESE Barcelona. We had company visits from Amazon, Tesla, FC Barcelona, and Mango. And participants also took tours of 2 innovation hubs in the city of Barcelona, Barcelona Tech City, Barcelona Health Hub. These are both helping to position Barcelona at the top of the heap of global innovation capitals. We've got a quick highlight reel of the day's events. We hope you can enjoy it.
You identify new challenges, new opportunities, and then you are born with a set of new technologies. The entrepreneur has this kind of sixth sense, on putting together new technologies to solve unsolved problems.
You see a problem that is happening in your day-to-day life, ideas that you see somewhere, and then you try to bring these ideas to execution.
Blockchain is special because in the end you're changing a paradigm. Honestly, and I remember the day, is when I really understood it. When you take out the cryptocurrency of the equation and you understand the technology, and because in my background I've been an auditor and a consultancy, so I've studied procedures in the companies, so I was able to say, wow, I can really ensure the procedures, make them more efficient with this technology. So that's how it clicked.
For me, autonomous driving is one of the most important ones. We see in Tesla that is doing lots of things in the stage. Electric cars, autonomous driving is the future.
Quantum computing, new materials, artificial intelligence.
We are in a moment of change, just as a planet. We need to change the way that we work.
I would like to see how resilience is built in the infrastructures because of climate change. I would like to see how the education system improves globally.
We need to change the way that we actually deliver things to the future.
Nowadays, management have to play with a lot of things. So many things at the same time, and they have to put in that innovation, that responsibility to be very careful to use that technology, the social networks, everything, because it affects the value of the companies.
We hope you enjoyed that video of Entrepreneurship Day highlights. Now, to continue along with the theme of innovation, we're sitting here with David Carmona. David is the General Manager of AI at Microsoft and a speaker at today's event. He'll be talking a little later this afternoon with Professor Javier Zamora. And David, just had a few questions for our audience. You've been in this position as General Manager of AI at Microsoft for about 4 years. Now, innovation moves fast. Can you tell our viewers what change or innovation within AI has impressed you the most in those 4 years?
Yeah, I think I can tell you, so first thing, thank you for having me here, it's a pleasure. I can tell you the story of how I decided to change my career in Microsoft, because I've been in Microsoft for 18 years, and for the past year, so before this role, I was very focused on software development. So I was the leader for the business of our developer tools. And what I realized at that time, and I think the industry realized at that time, is that we were able to do things with AI techniques that were not possible before with traditional software development. And in my case, the one that really opened my eyes was realizing that with AI techniques like deep learning, we were able to achieve human parity on tasks like speech recognition or vision, recognizing an object in an image, which was like mind-blowing for me. So that was the moment I realized, hey, wait a second, there's something here in AI that can take software development to the very next level.
Excellent, excellent. And now, talking about practical applications of these changes and of AI, what advice do you have for managers of organizations on how they can best adapt and take advantage and maybe assuage some of the fears regarding AI to really harness it for their companies?
Yeah, so I think as leaders, so we talk a lot about the revolution, the transformation that we need to do on the technical units in our organization, but we don't talk a lot about the transformation that also managers have to do, embracing AI. So there's a lot to discuss in there. I would summarize it in 3 things that as managers and as leaders, we have to embrace if we want to target, if we want to address artificial intelligence. The first one is really making sure that AI is not something isolated. So you need a comprehensive strategy for AI. It's not about finding specific use cases for AI. It's about defining the end-to-end strategy for your company. Then yes, it will start with specific use cases, but they will need to be steps in a broader direction to really transform your company with AI. That's the first thing. The second thing that I would say that as leaders we have to take into account is that to make that strategy a reality is not only about execution, it's also about culture transformation. So as leaders, we have to foster the culture that is required for that transformation. And that involves, of course, the technical part, but primarily things like empowering your business units to apply AI to their business. Things like fostering a data-centric culture, or things like fostering, connecting to your last point, a responsible approach to AI, because AI also comes with challenges. We have challenges that we need to address as we move in that direction, like having transparency, privacy, making sure that you have a system that is open, that you can understand, that is not biased, etc. Right? So very important that as leader we address those challenges from the very beginning. And then the last one that I would say is that as leaders, personally, AI will also impact on us. So with AI, we will need to spend less time analyzing data on those repetitive tasks. In a recent research, we were asking leaders, what are you going to do with that additional time that you're going to have when AI is supporting your decisions? And the number one answer was, I want to spend more time with my people. I want to motivate people. I want to work with the team, which is great, and that will shape the leaders of the future.
Fantastic, and you touched on this already, but I wanted to explore a little bit more the question of ethics and AI. There's been a lot of talk recently about ethics surrounding technology in general, what's going to happen to employees, workers, automation is a big concern. What are you and what is Microsoft doing to tackle those fears and make it an ethical transition?
Yeah, I think there are several things to say here. The number one that I would say, and I think we went past that phase where we really have to be aware of the challenges that AI was bringing. I think we are now in a moment that we have, at the very least, a good understanding on the challenges associated with AI. So every company is addressing those in the form of principles. In the case of Microsoft, for example, several years ago, we agreed on a set of principles that we share publicly on how we are developing AI responsibly. I think we are past that line now, and it's more about making sure that as companies, we implement those principles. We are sure that everything that we do in AI is aligned with those principles. So that involves things like practices, so making sure that as part of our AI development cycle, we consider responsible development as part of every task in the process, very important, but then also innovation. So in Microsoft, for example, we made the decision that responsible AI is by itself an area of innovation. So we are thinking not only about how to move the technology forward, but also how we make that technology more trustworthy. And connecting to the challenges that I was mentioning at the beginning, things like opening the black box of AI, or things like making sure that there's no bias on my AI, or making sure that I can keep the privacy of the data as I apply AI on top of that, are all areas of research in Microsoft.
Very good. And then looking forward to the future, I would like us to imagine that we're sitting here at the 2024 Global Alumni Reunion in another 5 years. What changes, future innovations can our viewers expect to see in just a 5-year gap there?
So I would hope that in 5 years, this is no longer a technology conversation, that the conversation is more about how every single employee, every single task in our organizations has been redefined with AI in a good sense. So improving the productivity, transforming our relationship with customers, optimizing our business processes, or even redefining or defining new products addressing those customers to have a better service to them. That is the conversation that I think we will be having in 5 years, instead of the technical capacitation that is the main conversation today.
Well, I can't wait to see what happens, and I'm sure our viewers can't wait to see either. David, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Okay, now we are about to take a short break, and when we return, we'll come back to you with Tal Ben-Shahar. Tal Ben-Shahar is an in-demand speaker, a best-selling author, a positive psychology expert, and is going to be talking about happiness and management. We can't wait to see you back with Tal Ben.